Good morning, good
Evening.
afternoon, good evening, everybody who's joining us today. We are not going to assume that it's just people in Singapore. We've had people in Australia who said that they want to tune in too, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So actually, it should be even later, right? Late evening for them right now.
Yeah.
So good evening, good morning, good day, good Tuesday to all of you who's watching Down the Rabbit Hole together with me and Lin. This is our 5th episode that we've been running this, right? Lin,
Yes,
how did we
yes.
get to the 5th episode?
I don't know. We just kind of rolled along with this. But I have to say, Jada, I don't know whether you feel it, but since we started this inner work series talk show, and because we had to prepare and talk through these live questions before we came on, my life has changed.
Wow, really? How has yours changed?
I
Could you
think
share?
it's because we're bringing to the forefront these really important things that we talked about: courage, dreams, self-judgment. And so because it's at the forefront, I'm just more aware of it, and how it influences me every day. And I begin to make choices according to what's important to me, right? This is as opposed to it sort of being in the background, in the subconscious. It's kind of creeping up on you, but you don't know. So I have found that I have lived my life in the last month or so differently.
You
How
know,
about you?
Lynn, what I love even more is that I've got coaches or even friends just coming up to me. I mean, to you too, right? If I'm not wrong,
Yes.
coming just up to us and telling us how, they caught a certain episode on courage and how it got them connected to, like the things that they need to do to face their fears, or even to the topic of dreams, right? And suddenly people are starting to reconnect to, I've forgotten about this dream that I had when I was a kid. And suddenly I remember that, and that got me thinking. So really it became like the space for people to go deeper into what's important for them.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that part, hearing all those coming in.
I'm really glad we got past our own barriers and hurdles, and we are now out here talking about these important topics because it has seemed to impact quite a number of people, and we are going to continue as a result. So our next month or so is going to be special, right?
It's totally going to be different. So in the first 4 topics that we talked about, we spoke about facing fears, feeling courage. How do you get past your fears, right? And then we went into talking about self-judgment. How do you tackle and face that inner critic that's inside you that's constantly hitting you all the time? And then we went into talking about dreams, freedoms. So in the first 4 topics that we really delved into was a lead up to the next 4 topics that we have.
Which is very exciting, which also explains why we have this background and why we're dressed like that. Of course, don't ask us what's underneath our right? Zoom culture nowadays. So before that, let's kind of welcome the people who are watching us. We have an audience. Hi guys, welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Lin and Jada. And Down the Rabbit Hole is an inner work series for coaches, although frankly, anybody can benefit out of this. Yes. So Jada, how did we come up with Down the Rabbit Hole?
Well, the story goes that Alice was one day sitting under a big tree, and then there's a white rabbit that scurried in front of her, and she was curious, and she just followed the white rabbit down the hole, right? So down the rabbit hole is a metaphor that we have for reveling into the unknown. Okay, as you go down the rabbit hole into wonderland, you begin to see things that's different, that is strange, that is unknown to you.
Yeah.
And as coaches, we often work with our clients into delving into the unknown for them, right? And so this becomes the space that we want to hold for coaches to examine ourselves.
You know what I love about this rabbit hole, and on the other end of the rabbit hole, there's Wonderland, which actually means Wonderland exists in parallel with Alice's sort of normal everyday world. It was there even though she didn't know it, even though it was out of her awareness, it exists. It's like what they say about even when the sun is up, it doesn't mean that the moon doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that the skies don't exist. You just don't see it. It's there.
Wow, so it's kind of like there's a lot of things that we don't know that's outside of us, but it exists, right? And if we begin to pick through it, or we begin to pull that thread to unravel it, there's so many more things that we don't know that's out there. And that's what makes life amazing, I think.
So who do we have online? Can you guys say hi? Natalie, I see you. Thank you for joining us. You love the topic. Well, you're going to love the next few topics. Who else do we have on? Please kind of give a hi. Give a thumbs up if you can hear us loud and clear. and we'd like to see who's with us today. So when we talk about journeying down the rabbit hole, although Jada and I have a sense of what we're going to be talking about, we actually don't know where it's going to go. We are going to journey down together, and we are inviting all of you to journey down with us as well. So it is an interactive talk show where we would be interacting with you guys over the chat. So please say hi. We'd like to know who we have with us today. And of course, at some point, we'll also like to know what success means to you. All right, before we go there though, Jada, what's today's topic about?
I think in the last 4 topics where we talk about fear, we talk about courage, we talk about facing judgment and chasing our dreams, right? It seems like all this leads up to this thing called success. There's a reason why we chase our dreams, right? Because there is this notion of success that we are all trying to reach. Okay, I remember that I always have a list, right? On this list is a list of things that I want to achieve. I want to succeed by the time I reach 30. And then now that I'm in my 30s, I have this list of things that I want to make sure I achieve, I succeed when I get to 40, before I get to 40. So there's this, I would say it's something like my dream. It's a dream to reach to this list of things that I have, which to me is success.
Okay, so success sounds like a big thing, in that it encompasses a lot of things to a lot of different people, right? So in this month's series, we're going to be focusing on success, and we're kicking off today with a very simple but very important reflection or a discovery around what is our relationship to success. And then the next few weeks, we are going to open up more specific topics. Like we have one coming up on money. What is your relationship to money? Oh, our relationship to money is very loaded. Okay, we have one also coming up on, what do we talk about?
Self-worth.
Yes, self-worth. How do we ask for money? How do we price ourselves? And all these are just lurking in the background. And it's all these subconscious thoughts that determine how we are successful as coaches, how we're successful in our business. So that's what we're going to be doing the next few weeks. All right, very specific topics. So if you have ideas of topics that you want to dive into under this umbrella of success, please put it in chat and we would review that.
I think something to talk about success also is that as coaches, a lot of time as we are working with our clients, right, we always ask them, I know one famous coaching question is, what does success means to you at the end of the session? We always try to define success as something that can be measured, right? And so how do we know exactly what we are measuring? I think that's something we need to discuss and unpack further. What exactly does success mean, right? What exactly is success?
Yeah. Do you want to share what our backgrounds mean? Why did you? So today was about success, and we were like, okay, let's pick a background that to us signifies or symbolizes success. So, what did you choose, Jada?
This is New York. New York. I love New York, and New York to me is. I've always imagined that if I'm able to have my business in New York, like, this business world, Wall Street, or having a tech startup and going IPO on Wall Street, that is like the epitome. Do you say that epitome, right?
Epitome.
Epitome of success.
Girl, if you want to be successful, you better not pronounce epitome.
Epitome of success, right? So New York, like if all the successful people are going there to build their business, I want to be there. That to me, that place is full of energy, excitement, success.
Okay. So that's something that's what it means to you right now, today.
Since a long time ago.
Wow.
Actually.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you?
I had a hard time thinking about mine, and I think it's an exercise everybody should do. If you had to put a background on success, like what we had to do today, what would you choose? And it was tough. I mean, something so simple was tough. Should I put a countryside because I love to be living in one? Should I put money? What should I put? And so I arrived on this. So this is the Louvre in Paris, and I to me, success is about being able to travel the world, have that freedom to travel and to explore, and to not have to worry about money, not have to worry about being with my business 24/7. I want to explore the world with my family. my kids, show them different cultures, people, just expose them that way, with my parents, with my friends, with my husband, and just go, live in a different place every few weeks.
Nice. I love that.
Yes.
For those of you who's with us right now, let us know if you have an image, right, to what success is. What is that? Could you type into chat? Let us know what's your idea or image of success.
Okay, so we start with, let's break the ice with ours first. Jada, when I mentioned the word success, and I ask you to envision yourself together with success, whatever that means, what is your immediate reaction?
My reaction to what success is?
Yeah, or that you are or you can be successful. What's the immediate reaction?
I think ever since a long time ago, if you ask me what success is, the first thing that pops into my mind immediately is having a successful business, right? Having a successful career, a business where, I mean, you have a team that's working together with you. There's profit, it's generating revenue, the business is making good product, good services, customers love the product, customers love the businesses, there's like great reviews. That to me is success. I've always tagged success to business to career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To business to career.
And to career.
So which one is it for you?
Business to me, career is business to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not being employed. Okay.
I think that started since when I was in design school, and then the dream of having like my own fashion brand and to start my own business. So that since then, actually, that's something that I've been trying to go after. Yeah, but that was in my in my early 20s. The dream of success is tagged to a business.
Interesting. Okay, and a profitable business. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Lin?
I struggled with this one as how I struggled with my virtual background. I have never been able to put Lin in the same bucket as success. So kind of putting both words together has always, even I did that morning when I was sending my daughter to school, and I just drew blanks. Like, you have a very clear idea of what success is for you. I've never been able to relate to success. Yeah, it's a bit of a blank. I know what I want. I know that I want to pursue my purpose. I know that I want to live my purpose to the fullest. I know I want to serve people. I know that being good at what I do is damn important to me so that I can serve people. That's as far as I go.
I think it's interesting to even really just ask the question of what is success, right? Because if I were to look at all the different people that we've coached, for example, right? We've got successful leaders, people who are at the top of the corporate field, right? And if you look at them, you think that they are very successful because they've made it, right? They've climbed to the top of the corporate ladder. And I think in today's society, that's what a lot of people deem as success, right? You make sure you get a really good education. That is the first path to success. After they get good education, get a great job, climb the corporate ladder, earn lots of money, have that house, have that car, make sure you can fly everywhere in the world that you want to. That is success, right? That's actually a lot of people's idea of success is.
Yeah, but also increasingly because the world or humanity in general is becoming more self-aware. I think people are also more in touch with the inner success and what that means. It's quite like what Natalie has mentioned. So success to her is living a life true to herself and know what others expect of her. So it could be inner peace, being answerable to yourself, enlightenment. That is success to some people. Joy, fulfillment. So I do see that increasingly people are more in touch with those aspects of success.
Yes. I mean, even Jeremy says success is the ability to provide for his family, right? So things that's more intrinsic, things that's more intangible. is becoming is coming to the forefront of like what success is. It's not just about the material stuff anymore. Right?
He's also added on, he said success also means to me the ability to fail freely.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Can I link a story to that, Jeremy? Success means the ability to fail freely. So Lin, I can't remember if okay. So do you mind if I share the story of our business when we were in our 20s?
Sure.
So
So
I
that was anything but successful. Well, no, I'll take that back.
Okay, so just to share, me and Lin, we ran a business together when we were in our 20s. How old were we, Lin, at that point of time?
2011. 2011.
So probably not
that was
late
about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
27.
27, right? So I think on the top of my to-do list, or on the top of my like things that bucket list, right, is to start a business before the age of 30. So when at the age of 27, me and Lin decided to start our own fashion business. We had our own retail space in Paco. We got onto the newspaper magazine. We were featured there, and we got really good sales from the business that we did. But then we carried the business on for almost close to 2 years. Yeah. And at that point of time, retail was changing, and that, to cut a long story short, okay, we had to stop the business. We had to close down the business. And to me, right, even though we managed to start the business and we ran a business for 2 years, and it's like a tick off the bucket list, but that whole experience to me was failure. Because I always, I mean, not now anymore, but at that point of time, right, when we had to close shop, all I could delve in was that I did not succeed. I failed. I didn't succeed. I had this dream, but I didn't make it. I didn't succeed. Even though I started a business, I didn't succeed.
So what did it not achieve such that you feel like you weren't successful in that?
Because I tagged the idea of success to having a business that was profitable and that we probably have like
like a factory,
a few retail stores, a few boutiques,
Right.
There was a very fixed notion of what success is. So even though I had kickstarted that dream, right? But because I didn't achieve that fixed notion of what that success is, I have failed. I failed. And so everything that we did in those 2 years, right, which was really quite incredible if I think about it right now, I just wiped it off my plate.
Okay, and what's the result of you wiping out of your plate?
The only thing I could so if anybody asks me about that business, I always just say, we started a business, but then we didn't make it. It closed. So, all the things that we achieved in between, right? Like running a fashion show, like, traveling to Indonesia to get our stuff done, all those fun moments, right? And those small wins that we had along the way, I totally wipe it off.
Okay, so you didn't absorb, because you don't acknowledge it, you don't absorb it, you don't integrate it, you don't build on it.
Yes. And so when Jeremy says success means the ability to fail freely, I totally didn't get that at that point of time.
Well, it means, Jeremy, you're very wise, Jeremy. Okay. And do you still feel that way now?
No. I think then the relationship to success slowly changed. Yeah, because I had to sit with that notion of failure for a long time. And I think, well, life's a journey, right? We all grow. And slowly my relationship to success shifted.
Okay, yeah. From what to what?
So now I'm not so fixated on that end goal or how that end goal should look like, but I'm enjoying the small process of hitting the small wins, right? So if let's say today, if I had a goal to say lead a big training, okay, this weekend, and if along that training I feel like there's things that I don't do well, I don't beat myself up anymore. I don't walk away from that training thinking that I failed, but I will start to think the thought that I'm having now instead is, okay, I'm slowly improving. This is a work in process. I'm not so fixated on that angle anymore. So as a result of that, it feels so much better. I feel so much lighter.
Oh, okay. What is your intention on then? If it's not about beating yourself up, what is your attention? Where has your attention shifted to?
I think the attention shifted to just enjoying the process and enjoying knowing that this is the small steps that I need to do
Mm,
to go through so that I grow as a person.
nice.
Yeah. And so right, even if there is a failure, it is a learning. It is no longer a failure and Jada, you suck, it's a failure. It's no longer that, but it's a learning. So which is really like what Jeremy said, right? Ability to fail freely.
Mm,
Because there's so
okay.
much lesson to get in that.
Okay, so you've shared how your relationship to success has changed. You don't peg it on an end outcome, and if you don't achieve that outcome, you have failed. But you now you recognize the inner journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that growth to you is you succeeding.
Yes.
Okay, and the second, okay, so our first question to each other and everybody was, what is your relationship to the success? The follow-up question of that was, then what do you attract as a result of your relationship to success? How does it limit or support you? So in your case, what are you attracting?
I think in the earlier scenario when we are in our 20s and I had the experience of that field business, all I looked at was failure, all the different things that I'm failing at. So because my mind was so fixated at that, right, I'm just limited by seeing that there's nothing successful. Everything's a failure, right? But now because my mindset has shifted, so everything that I'm looking at now is, oh, okay, so this is an area that I can get better at. Okay, there's more room to improve. So it becomes like possibility.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so in a way, I think my relationship shifting is an internal mindset shift. Yeah.
You know, there's this saying that has been playing up in my head since last week. I just can't get it out. In fact, I posted it on the CCI Instagram account. And that is, whatever you put your attention on is how your reality will form. And so if the sort of the earlier Jada, version 1 of Jada, constantly put attention on failure, then you would just manifest the reality of failure, right? Like you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And then I suppose it will impact the way that you do things. You probably do things, I don't know, half-assed, or you consider too much, or you compare a lot. And
yeah, I think sometimes even then the fear to even try, right? Because that, you might just fail too.
Yeah.
So it paralyzes a lot of things for me back then.
Right. And so how your reality has also shifted because your attention has shifted.
Yeah.
You're now looking at how you're growing, how you're succeeding. And does that prepare you then to take on bigger opportunities? Because then it's not personal. It doesn't mean anything about yourself. It's always just growth and learning in the process.
I would say yes. And the thing to that is it's just about saying yes and trying and experimenting and doing more, but it's not so much about that end goal, right? So there is no, of course there is a dream, right? A big dream down the road, right? But I'm not so fixated to how that should look like.
Yeah. Anyway, we did talk about this in the last
Correct.
Episode about freedom and how we can set, we can have ideas and we can hope, but we cannot what did I say? You can't insist on controlling things around you, because then that just sets you up for suffering.
So I guess that's what I've just shared is really just my relationship to success. And I guess everybody has different relationship to what success is, right? I'd just love to hear from you guys that's watching us right now. What is your relationship to success? And as a result, what do you attract?
Yes. Please put it in chat. Answer this question. What is your relationship to success? So kind of really look at how you relate to success. If I were to put you or your name together with the word success, how do you feel about that? Do you feel awkward? Do you feel like you reject it? Do you feel like you are already it? It's part of your identity and your being. what is that immediate reaction to success? So early on, I'm a bit different from you, right, Jada? I was sharing that I can't really relate to success. And I think ever since I was, I think I have ideas of what a successful project would look like. So for example, back to our fashion label, success would be sales, success would be media coverage. So that would be an idea of it. But I don't, that to me still didn't feel like I would be successful when that happens. So I think most of my life has just always been pursuing what I love. It's a bit, like how they say, so I'm born in the year of a pig, or we are born in the year of a pig. We are born in the year of pigs, all right? And what they always say about pigs is that they are very innocent, very carefree, and I kind of feel that way. I just pursue what I feel like doing. But as a result, I have always rejected the notion of societal success. Okay, so even pursuing my master coach certification was not about me being successful. It was about me overcoming my lifelong pattern of self-sabotage. I never finished something because I always see myself as a failure. So that was really about that. But I never focused on sort of getting myself out there. I never focused on my brand. I never focused on looking like I am successful. So it has compromised my true success.
How does it compromise your truth? I mean, how does it compromise?
Well, look, so I know friends who started off their coaching journey after me. In fact, I trained them, and then they went out there and they just started, putting themselves out there. They built a brand. They were pimping themselves like every other day on Facebook, on LinkedIn. They were getting gigs, speaking gigs, everything. And I wouldn't say it's not like because they are vain or anything. I'm sure it was equally uncomfortable, but they knew it had to be done. So I would say that their relationship to societal success maybe was a bit cleaner than mine. I mean, it has so much of a rejection to it. And so when I look at them versus who I am now, I go like, hey, if I started 10 years ago like them, I would be on like some of the world's biggest stages. I cringe even at the idea when I talk about it now, but that is the truth. I would be earning more. I would be having more. I would be more known, I would have a bigger audience. I would have started building my IG or my Facebook following, whatever. I just never did all that. I only started doing it since like earlier this year.
And so in that way, because of your rejection, that limits how far your brand or your coaching could take you. How?
Yeah, yes. So if let's say, because I believe that my mission, okay, I was about to say I believe my purpose, but I'm not going to go there. Still looking for that, or still sort of clarifying that. But I know that my mission is to impact as many lives as possible. But how can I do that if I'm not out there? If I'm sitting, in my office or my bedroom, or like, one client's office every other week, and doing good at what I do, but then nobody knows about it. How the hell am I going to make a difference to so many people, right? So it's still, I am not successful, the societal sense of it, because I'm rejecting it. Now, am I successful internally? I totally, yes. I don't have an issue with that. I love what I do. I enjoy it. I'm very fulfilled. But in the earlier days of my relationship with my then boyfriend, now husband, Ronald, he's very practical. So he's a businessman, he's practical. To him, it's always about, the money, because with the money, you can get a roof over your head. And when you have that, fundamentally, you are settled. You can then go and do all these other things. So he's very pragmatic that way. And we had so many arguments our first 2 to 3 years, because he will always say, you don't care about money. And I'm like, life is not just about money. And then we'll just have all these arguments. And we're like, we're trying to like, we knew we were going to get married at some point, but we couldn't even fundamentally meet at this level of resources to build a life together. Yeah.
And Lynn, as I'm hearing you say, right, what's coming to me is like there is two different types of success. Yeah, there's the practical type of the material type of success, title, status, financial success, credibility, all the external success that like modern reality puts to, right? I mean, that's one type of success which rather subscribe to, right? And then there's the other type of success, which is the internal success, where you have that sense of fulfillment in what you're doing, right? You have an inner compass that knows that you're on the right track. That's another type of success. So there's two different types of success we are talking about, and I guess there's no right or wrong, right? Both are important.
Both are important. So, I think it boils down to having the awareness of what you are saying about your success, and therefore what it attracts to you in your life. If to me, when we decided that we should talk about success, the next topic that made sense to me was about self-worth, because do I even feel worthy of success? I don't know, right? And so if I don't feel worthy, then of course I'm not going to be able to attract success. So you're right. It's about being aware of where we stand in our relationship, and then correcting or adjusting that relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the whole point of being aware, or improving or increasing our own awareness, so that we can tune it, right? Like, do we need to tilt a little bit more to the external success? Do we need to pursue a little bit more of that because it might be helpful for us, right? Or should we tune in a little bit more to the internal success? Because what's the point of having all the external success if internally you are empty?
Yes,
right?
which is what happens with a lot of very successful executives and leaders, right?
Yeah.
When I work with them and I ask them deep down, do they feel fulfilled? No, they actually don't have a lot of answers to their own life. They feel successful on the outside. They've got that title. They're recognized by the CEO. They fly around. They've got teams and respect and all that. But we also know in our industry, in the coaching industry, a lot of high flyers leave and they become coaches because they realize that they were on empty. They just had enough, right? And it sets them on this whole soul searching process that eventually landed them in coaching.
Yeah. No, so then the notion of like wanting to do something that's more meaningful, something that has more purpose, something that's more fulfilling, right?
So it's great that they awakened at some point. It's not too late for them. But then there are also hundreds, if not thousands, of people who carry on their life just sucked into this, notion of success, and they lose themselves and then they die. And then that's it.
Yeah, but don't forget, okay, on the other hand, all this success is useful. All the external success is useful. Imagine if you started to push further, right, on what on your credibility or your branding or being more out there, you could impact so many more people.
Yeah. So we need both.
Yeah.
So I love how it's about bringing awareness to where we stand. We have a share in the chat. So usually, Natalie is saying, usually success defines her through external indicators, and therefore my self-worth might fluctuate up and down. Yeah. Good. There is this, that when it comes to awareness and changing ourselves, the saying that it is never too late really applies. Right? Just knowing that now and focusing, bringing your attention to then what is important will allow you to form your reality as such.
Yeah.
So Jada, what would it be for you then? Like if we were to say in the next few weeks, what is your attention going to be on so that you can attract what you want to attract? What is it?
Let me mull on this. I want to focus a little bit more on the inner thoughts. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more. I'm catching myself these days. So sometimes, okay, so now my focus is really on making sure that my coaching business builds up, right? That I'm getting better in coaching, getting better in training, getting better in doing what I love, right? But there are times, right, when my calendar is packed with like coaching, I catch my thoughts going, okay, I wish I can take a break. I wish I don't have to do so much. I wish I can be in Bali. I wish I can chill. And I realized, right, when I start having those thoughts, it's not aligned to what I really want. I mean, I love it, but why am I having this conflicting thoughts? So I'm going to catch I want to catch those thoughts better, because I think it's important to align all those small inner conversations that I'm having, right? So then it's also in tune to that success that I'm trying to get to.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
No, you nailed it. It is about that inner talk. It's about, when we talk about, when we are trying to open up this exploration of your relationship to success, it's so that we can shine a light on this inner talk. What are your inner voices saying about your success? So in this case, it was great. You want to take a break, but you see that doesn't actually bring you where you want.
Correct, because there is a conflicting conversation internally. On one hand, I want to do more because I want to be successful, but on the other hand, I'm like, I'm lazy, and so something's got to shift. If not, I'm not aligned. I'm going to be having a tug of war internally.
Yes. Who can relate to Jada? Put that, give her a thumbs up to say I am with you, and it is work in progress. So I'm very sure one day you would iron yourself out. Jada.
Lin, if you ask me this question, you got to answer it too, okay?
Okay. So what's the question? What am I going to bring my attention to?
Yes.
Okay. So worth has been on my radar since we had episode 2 on self-judgment. Or was it 1 on fear? And I said I'm going to increase my price by 3 times.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I did. And I got the client. That has still constantly been in my reality. I think putting my attention on worth, it's not even Lin, you're worth it. It's like sort of like prep talk, SHIT, right? Like wake up in the morning, look at myself in the mirror and Lin, you're worth it. Lin, you're worth it. It's not that. It's not about Lin, you are worth it, but it's more about I don't want to, I have enough of limiting what the universe can manifest for me with I had enough of limiting what the universe can manifest with my limited thoughts. So if I think I'm worth, say, $500, okay? But if there's a client out there who sees value in me, and is willing to pay me, say, $2,000 an hour, I am sabotaging myself by limiting myself. Right? And even before I can, because I'm embarrassed to say how much would you pay, right? Or I'll just put it out there and say, it's $500 an hour. And then somebody who's willing to pay $2,000 is going to think, hey, how come you're so cheap? So I had enough of defining what the universe can give me, and I'm just let go of that. So I'm coming from worth. Maybe it's abundance. Maybe you can say it's not really abundance. It's more like possibility, potentiality. I'm not going to get in the way of myself. So I'm putting my focus on getting myself out of my way and just put it out there and then see how it goes.
Wow. I want to see how that manifests for you.
Okay. We'll see at the end of a month after we've gone through all these topics. Okay, so we are at 9:40, and Jada, we have promised that we're going to start making our talk shows shorter. So I think we are at the tail end. We're wrapping up. What are some of the takeaways from today?
I think the very first thing that we all should ask ourselves, we all want to take time to question, right, is what is our relationship to success, right? How do you define success? When you put success and you together, what comes up, right? And when you have that awareness, you want to start asking yourself, okay, how do you then attract what you're attracting because of your definition of what success is, or your perspective of what success is? How do you also then limit yourself because of that perspective? I think the main thing that we want is to begin shining that torchlight, that awareness on your own definition of success. And then once you begin to have that clarity, to decide for yourself, right? Do you need to tweak a little bit more into the internal form of success? Or do you need to adjust and, work a little bit harder on what's external?
And we also talked about how the whole idea of examining your relationship to success is so that you can shine a torch on the inner thought, the inner voice that may be sabotaging or slowing down the kind of success that you really want. And there might also be voices that support you, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, maybe it's not the success that you really want, but the success that the universe has for you.
Ooh.
Right? Because what you want is also limited by your own thoughts,
Yes,
and your own,
yes.
or your own reality. And who
Yes.
knows what's out there for you.
Yes. So it keeps going back to freedom also. And I'll point there about how you can set an intention or a wish, but don't get so caught up in how the outcome needs to look like, because the universe might be sending you something better, and all you're saying is, well, no, I don't want the whole, remember we talked about this, I don't want the whole cow, I just want that small little beefsteak.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas you can get a cow and then go and sell the cow and earn more money.
Yeah. You don't know what's in Wonderland. You just need to jump in and see what's there.
Okay, so those who are watching, we are wrapping up soon. So type in chat, what is your takeaway from today? What are you pondering about? What's in your space right now? What are you putting your attention on in the next few weeks that is going to align yourself with your notion of success? Gosh, that was 3 questions in one. Such a bad thing that a coach should do. The other thing is we have upcoming topics on money. So join us on that. We are looking at your relationship to money, and we're going to have a guest speaker to chat with us on that. We are also going to be looking at your relationship to self-worth, and therefore how much you ask for, how you price yourself. Can you ask for the sale? We are going to be unpacking more tangible topics this series around like business and sales and making money, and this whole thing that success is about. I thought of one, Jada. What about branding? Right? What your, like, the inner work of branding? What are you saying about yourself, or how you see yourself, that actually creates or goes against the brand, your brand?
And that's also related to putting ourselves out there, right? Being in the spotlight. And that's something that a lot of coaches, I think, are not comfortable in, being in the spotlight. So that could be something to.
Yes, sounds good. All right. So if you like today's topic and you want to hear all the success topics lined up for you in the next few weeks, please give us a like, hit the like button, share the video. Oh, by the way, we have something for them, right, Jada? You don't know? Let me remind you. Okay, guys. So we're gonna do something fun. We want to start bringing more guest speakers on, and we would also actually like to invite you guys to join us on the show, right? Because we're all journeying down together. So what we're gonna do is, if you share the video, comment and like. 3 things: share, comment, and like the video. Your name is going to go into a draw, and one session you're going to join the 2 of us for some hot seat coaching by a PCC and an MCC. You will definitely get somewhere, I hope. It's going to be thrilling, but it's going to be, it's going to be the highlight of your month. I promise you that.
So share, like, or comment, and then who knows, you'll be there on the hot seat getting coached by Lin Tan.
All right, so we'll see you guys next Tuesday, 9 p.m., same place. Go focus your attention on the reality you want to form.
See you guys. Have a good
night.
week.
Bye.